Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Lace Covered Skies. Welcome to a mask making video. Today we are going to mask make fabric tape, and we are going to be using bits of fabric. We're going to be using ribbon and some trim to make a whole bunch of this fabric tape. And let me show you what I have so far. So I did film the tutorial video for this first, but it's gonna go up tomorrow. It's gonna go up for tutorial Tuesday. So today you're just gonna see me make a whole bunch of them, and if you're interested in a more detailed tutorial, please go ahead and check out tomorrow's video. All right, so I have some bits and pieces of fabric here. I have some trim here. We're gonna start with this fabric, I think. And where's my tape? Here it is. All right. So this is a great way to use up fabric scraps. These scraps have kind of been laying around, and in my opinion, it's not enough of a statement piece of fabric to really do much with, so I kept like putting it aside. And I think it's going to be good for making these fabric tapes, because when you have like a little thin piece, it's not going to be a focal point, but it's going to add some texture to the page and interest to the page. So let's go ahead. These are both the same length. So I think what I'm going to do is measure this out. And it is kind of hard because, I mean, tape is sticky, but all right. Now I don't want this thick of a piece of fabric tape, so I'm gonna do half. I'm gonna go ahead and, first of all, let me zoom in so you can have a little bit of a closer look. All right. Okay. So it's kind of one of those things where it's hard to start, but you just have to like go for it because of it being so sticky, and you're just gonna have to jump in. All right, so I laid it only on half, and I am going to do something else with the other half. Actually, this I would want to be a little bit thicker. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use this ribbon. I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm not even gonna cut the ribbon off first. Sorry about that, I was not even in frame. I hope I didn't do that for the whole first one. So I'm just gonna lay it down. Press it down like that. Now let me go ahead and cut off this piece. That's so interesting. I've never noticed this before. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but there's like pink in the back. That's so weird. All right. Now I love using this tape to make these. This ribbon, because I got this from a Hobby Lobby probably 2 years ago when it was on clearance, and it's so pretty that I don't want to use it. And I think by making these little bits of tape from it, it's like I'm gonna get more use out of it. Like I need to use only a little bit, but it's gonna make a large impact. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm gonna go ahead and trim this. And then trim this side off. And then I'm going to separate these two pieces. Although they do look really cool together like this. This would be kind of like a collaged piece of tape, which I think would be really cool. So there's one piece right there. And then a little bit of the edge is frayed, so I'm just going to trim. I'm not going to trim all of the frayed edge off. And I'm using the wrong scissors. I try to not use these scissors for anything sticky. And this double-sided tape is super sticky. All right. Okay. So I really like how that turned out. It's just like a little piece of the fabric showing. And right now, I do want to try making a collaged piece. So because this is still the same length we're working with, let's go ahead and do that. I'll probably end up using this for my floral or botanical journals. That will be up next. After I finish working on the retro journals, which, as you guys can see, it takes me so long. But that's just the way I kind of work. And at some point, I'm going to try to get faster. But I think right now I'm just trying to get used to making videos regularly. All right, so let's go ahead and do the same thing. And I'm going to add this onto the other side. All right. Now let me cut this side off. And go ahead and make another piece. I think, okay. And when you're making it, it's a little bit difficult for me right now because I'm trying to I'm like working away from myself, and it's a little bit more difficult. But when you're not trying to stay in frame, it's a lot easier. I feel like anytime I make a tutorial, I'm like always kind of struggling a little bit. But just know that it's not as hard in real life. Okay. That kind of veered off from the edge. I think I'm going to try to fix the fabric side. Okay. The tape, this double-sided tape is super sticky, so it's not really going to let me do that. Now this ribbon is going over the edge a little bit, but I think I'm okay with that. So there we have those two pieces. Now let's go ahead and, okay, we're at 11 minutes. So I've been curious about this fabric, how it's gonna look. So let me see. I'm trying to find like the same length. I think I'll go ahead and make a whole thick piece of this one. Actually, I'm going to do trim and eyelet. So let's go ahead and measure out the length of this. And what I sometimes do, because this is so thick, even though I want to make a thick piece of this, I'm going to do this trim. So this is just really cute trim. And I can never have too many pieces of this, just because a little bit adds so much interest to the page. All right. Now, let me trim up some loose ends here. I love this type of eyelet fabric. I just love that texture. And this baby blue is so pretty too. As you can see, this is such a simple and fast project that gives you so much. It makes crafting quicker, basically, once you just take a little bit of time to make up these pieces. So this is what we have so far. Part of me would leave it like this because I think that's a really cool piece of trim. So I think I'll leave that one like that, but let's make another one. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 more pieces like that. And this seriously is so sticky. Okay, okay. Just gonna make sure it's the right side up as I wrestle with this tape. Wow. Okay. It's like even grasping onto like the little pieces of thread. All right. So I think I want to lay it down and that's one piece. And another piece. All right, let's move on. I'll cut them all at once later. I'm curious about this because this is a little bit of a sheer piece of fabric. And I really wonder how it'll look. Okay, I just realized I didn't turn on my light. I'm so sorry. Okay, I think next what I'm gonna do is do a thinner piece of this with another fabric. So let's put this aside and go ahead and cut this. So that I can use it with this, but I want to use this for one side of it. So that's going to be one side, and this is going to be the other side. And I can already tell that this is going to be really hard to lay down because this fabric is super flimsy. And because it's so thin, I really don't want to stretch it too much because it'll warp the fabric. Or it'll warp the design. All right. I'm curious how this will look. So let's go ahead and cut off the extra pieces. Let me make sure they're really okay. It's nice to cut with this tape because it gives you a nice guide, because I'm really not good with cutting. All right, So there we have that piece. Let me go ahead and cut off these pieces. Actually, let me trim this side first. I like to do all the trimming when it's still like a nice wide piece. And then let's cut this. So I think it looks pretty cool. I do like this better though, so I think I'm going to make a few more of these. And I wanted to cut one of these in half to make a thinner piece. So let's see if I can cut straight. I am using my sticky scissors right now. All right, so there we have just a thin piece of eyelet. And this, I am going to leave it like this because I think it'd be cool to use as a whole piece. But if I wanted to use a little bit separate, I can cut it out when I want to do that. So as you can see, it's only been 22 minutes, but I was able to make quite a few of these. All right, so if you want to know in detail how I did this, there will be a tutorial video up tomorrow. I kind of go into more detail about what kind of tape you'll need, but I'll also have another video showing you how I use these to make ephemera, and that's going to be either probably Wednesday or Thursday, maybe Friday, sometime later this week. But if you liked this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos. If you hit the bell notification, it'll notify you every time I upload a video. My schedule hasn't been, it's switched a little bit, so it's just kind of been a little bit off lately. But thank you so much for watching today. If you have any questions at all, please leave a comment down below, and I will talk to you next time. Bye everyone.